It's October 9, 2009. It's about 7:30 in the morning. I'm here at Death Valley Wilderness Area for my second solo trip into the wilderness. This time I'm headed up into Bighorn Gorge. My goal is to see some of the bighorn sheep that they have there, as well as see some of the fossils. It's about 60 degrees right now, and comparatively it's freezing because it's typically so warm here. But it's also very dry, so hopefully once I get moving, I'll warm up a little bit. The purpose of going up into Bighorn Gorge is to get some shots of the bighorn sheep population that are up in that canyon, and also to get some shots of the fossils that are in the area. Temperature isn't too bad right now. Hopefully the weather will hold out. So I'm carrying quite a bit of water, so I don't run into the same problem as last time. I'm carrying about as much as I did the last time, but hopefully it won't run out. You know, as you look out over this terrain, it looks relatively flat. What you don't see, however, are the hundreds of gullies between here and the place you're trying to get to. I've actually been moving for about an hour now, covered maybe a mile over what looks like relatively flat ground. Of course, the reason is that there's so many gullies that I'm constantly going up and down and trying to scramble up little tiny hills. This wadi right here is indicative of what I'm talking about. It's about 6 feet deep, and it basically runs the entire length of the desert floor. So there are literally dozens, if not hundreds of these for every mile that you travel. And each of them has really slippery rocks on the side of it, so you have to watch when you're scrambling up and down, especially with a heavy load. In front of me right now you can see the wash that comes out of Bighorn Gorge. See, the left and right sides of it are pretty much scoured from all the water that comes down once they get some rain here. It's a key indicator that I'm going the right way because there's only one real gorge in this area, and that's Bighorn. And this fan right here is an indicator that water comes down out of the mountains. Now this wash right here illustrates what I was talking about earlier, how the ground is deceiving. If you look at it from a distance, it looks like the ground is flat. Well, you can tell it's not. That wall's probably 8 feet tall, and it's a sheer wall. You can see it extends all the way back up into Bighorn Canyon, or Bighorn Gorge. So these are some of the things you have to navigate when you're walking across what you think is otherwise flat terrain. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of energy, and the sides of these little slopes here are composed of just thousands of little rocks, so it's kind of actually tough to walk up the sides of the hills without falling back down. This is an interesting place here. This is actually part of the wash or wadi that's created by the water coming out of Bighorn Gorge. I'm standing on a, I won't call it a cliff here. Well, it's about 30 feet down, and you can see it extends all the way to the southeast. It's pretty impressive. You can see the composition of the ground at the bottom is all pure sand. It's hard now because it's been such a dry, hot summer. But it extends all the way back up into Bighorn Gorge. And one of the main things you need to watch out for when you're walking through these wadis is snakes. They like to sun themselves against the hillsides. Catch the sun just right. Now on the floor of the wadi, it's as hard as cement. Although I imagine when you get some water through here, it'll chip away some of this hard packed sand. Okay, I'm a couple hundred meters shy of the entrance to Bighorn Gorge. It's actually been pretty difficult to try and get up here. Having to walk through all those wadis, taking a lot out of me. It's either loose rock or pebbles that are so small it's like walking in sand. Hopefully when I get up into the gorge, it'll be a little bit more stable.